Thank God this is not a beauty salon. Productions presents A Tale of Two Uglyplexes. Probably would have been a better effect if the zoom control was actually faster on this, but anyway, you probably don't share that opinion of these if you like this style of case. But I don't. I always thought that it was ugly, and as you can see, it's very evident with the one on the right. They don't really age all that well. Anyway, I'm not really sure of the form factors here. I've always considered this the full-size desktop, and this the small form factor. It's obvious that this one is smaller than that one, but maybe they consider this the ultra-small form factor, and this is a small form factor. I don't know, but either way, it doesn't really matter that much. We have here, we'll take a look at this one first, the Optiplex GX270. You can see that it's got a laptop-style DVD-ROM drive and a laptop-style floppy drive. Obviously, with the small form factor, it basically needs that. It has a full-size hard drive inside it, though. This doesn't move. I always thought the smile here in the front was rather goofy. That's another thing I didn't like about these. It just looks silly. You have a headphone port. Curiously, there's no microphone port on the front. 2 USB ports. Pentium 4 sticker. Come on, focus. Pentium 4 sticker and a designed for Microsoft Windows XP sticker. Dell logo on the side. There we can see one of the case release brackets. Alright. Means the power supply, which on both of these machines is non-standard form factor. That's another annoying thing about these. We have 2 slots here. There is a, what is this, AGP and PCI. Although this came to me with a video card in it, and the video card had a VGA port and DVI, or DVI and an S-video. I would have loved to keep that in here because that would have made my job a lot easier. I could use this directly, but I don't know where my S-video to composite adapter is right now, so I just took that out. I'll probably put it back when I find that adapter. The VGA port was over here, which blocked out the PCI slot. Not that you'd really be able to use it. I mean, so the small form factor anyway. Here we have our audio ports, Ethernet, 6 USB ports. Some of those kind of messed up on the bottom here. It almost looked like a HDMI port for a second, or display port. That's not what it is. Actually, it'd be HDMI. This thing does not have HDMI on it. It's way too old for that. I think this is 10100. It might be gigabit, but I'm pretty sure it's only 10100. 2 PS2 ports. The best thing Dell ever did on these machines. You got 4 diagnostic LEDs, onboard VGA, serial, and parallel. And, of course, some ventilation. Alright, let's go ahead and open the case. Minor addendum, I looked up online, the NIC is indeed a gigabit NIC, so that's a rather nice feature. I'm not sure on the CPU socket whether it is 775 or 478. I'm pretty sure it's 775. Unfortunately, this one has one of those JMC Daytech blowers that tend to get noisy, and you can't oil them, so you can't even repair that. Here we can see the slots there. It's got DDR RAM. I think it's got 2 gigs installed in it total. Should be enough for what I'm going to do with it, which is 32-bit Windows 7. It's going to run a WeatherStar 4000 emulator, which is why I really would have liked to have this in here, but it's not really going to make much of a difference. It's not any worse than what I was using before. So, anyway, there's the power supply. There's not really much to see in here. All of the capacitors on the board, except for that one right there, appear to be perfectly fine. Hopefully that isn't going to spell a problem. Maybe those 3 down there, but all of the voltage regulator capacitors look okay, and that's the big problem on these, so that's a bonus. We'll see up here in the drive cage that we've got some ribbon cables. Now, it would do you no good to get rambunctious with these because they are very easy to tear and very difficult to replace. Been there, done that on a couple of occasions, and I'm not proud to say that. Lots of swear words, including some new swear words that haven't been invented before, were said on those days. But you can see the floppy controller there, and I believe that's the secondary IDE right there. This over here is a custom job that was done by Ross, who originally owned this computer. You see, and we'll see it in a second, that one's got one. This machine originally had a 5-pin little pigtail adapter, and what you do is you'd be able to specify whether you want a SATA or an IDE hard drive. Both pigtails would come with the appropriate connectors for those, but you choose between SATA or IDE for the hard drive, which is why there's a second IDE channel on the motherboard. Of course, now that it's been hardwired for serial ATA, and I'd hate to shed bad light on anybody, but actually you can't even really see it, but the connector's actually on there backwards. But it works, I guess. I was able to shoehorn all of this in there. It doesn't look pretty, but it'll work. Won't be able to get it out of there without taking all the connectors off, though, which is kind of a pain in the rear end. But now, of course, I'm limited to serial ATA hard drive, so I hope that this drive lasts a good long time, because I don't exactly have a surplus of these things lying around. A lot of IDE drives, though. Of course, it doesn't really matter. But you can see, back there is a Dell... Alright, let me go get a light. That might actually make this better. Alright, that's better. You can see back there is a Dell business audio speaker. And this, of course, is the front panel control board, which hooks into the board with that, right there. So hopefully that ribbon cable never breaks. There's a chassis intrusion switch right there. It'd be pretty hard to defeat that, too, so good luck on that, folks. Is there anything else interesting on this motherboard that I haven't noted yet? I don't think so. It's got an 865 chipset. There's the low pin count I/O controller. I think now is as good a time as any to shut the case, get a monitor, and hook this thing up and play ball with it. Alright, so I went ahead and I switched the two machines around because it's actually easier that way, as we will see in just a second. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the camera down, push this back so it's out of the way, and we'll go ahead and plug it in. I can find the plug. No, it's not that one. Here it is. And plug it in. No life out of it. Nothing exploded yet. So set my KVM switch, wherever it is. Here it is. I think I can set it to that. I do. So that's what it'll do. We can push power and see what happens. Comes on. Okay. Have to get the setup. Have to get in the setup. Just ignored me. Oh. There we go. Yeah, we're in setup now. So let's have a look at setup. Let's take a look at the specifications on this thing. Look at this. Been hot rodded. Pentium 4 3.4 with 1 mega cache. It's a lot of cache. Yeah, high-speed CPU. BIOS version A03. I'll have to see if there's an upgrade to that. The date and time is mostly accurate. Actually, it is accurate. I think I changed it. No, it's 2 minutes off, but who cares with that? Drive configuration-wise, got a serial ATA hard drive, 80 gigs in size, which is good because that's what's installed. I find that you oftentimes can't read the display on these videos, so I'm trying to zoom in and show you. Alright, so this I don't need. CD-ROM drive is there. Everything else should be set to off. UDMA should be on. That's it. Hard drive sequence. USB. Oh, cool. USB device. That looks okay to me. Memory-wise, we've got 2 gigs of RAM, dual channel mode, 400 megahertz, 128 megabyte AGP aperture. I wonder if I could change that. Looks like I should be able to. I'll just leave it at 128, doesn't really matter. Already got some more CPU information. I think with regards to the rest of this, there isn't really much else that's interesting. Oh, I don't want that. I usually set this to performance. Let's have a look at the event log. Lots of keyboard errors. Look at that. Look at all the keyboard errors. Yeah, there are a lot of keyboard errors. Somebody apparently was not very kind to the keyboard that came with this computer. And you can see that's when the CMOS battery failed, around 2010 or so. And it looks like it might have had a memory problem in 2011. More keyboard errors. The memory was upgraded at some point in 2012. Another clock battery failure, although maybe that's the same one, maybe it was just never replaced. Somebody was playing memory module bingo with this thing at this point in 2014. More CMOS battery problems. More memory size different things. Looks like a lot of just CMOS battery problems, keyboard errors, and memory module bingo. So, no, nothing all too terrifically interesting. So we'll just mark all of those as red. Don't really need those. So, we will go ahead and we will save changes and exit. I want to see what's on that hard drive. Actually, I know exactly what's on that hard drive. I want to see if it'll boot on this. I don't think it will. I don't remember what machine this came out of. I don't think there's anything in the Uglyplexes drive. I don't know, is it going to boot? Somehow or another, I don't quite think so. Alright, let me go get my Windows 7 USB and we'll try and install 7 on this, because that's what we're going to do, or that's what I'm going to do. And this is, of course, going to be the WeatherStar 4000 emulator. Wow. That's funny. Alright, you know what? I'm going to get the video card. I'm going to put the video card in here and see if it's any better. Well, I hope that's in place and works. So we'll get the boot floppy because it will not boot from USB. I'll plug my very old and tired USB drive back in. This might not even work. I might have to use a newer USB stick. Well, I get a picture. GeForce 6200. Nothing real fancy, really. But it should at least work a little bit better. Oh yeah, that's definitely working a whole lot better. So we'll let that do its thing. I was editing the Windows Vista style bootloader earlier, so with the onboard video. Maybe if I gave it a little more video memory, it'd have a little more oomph, but why do that when I could just install the video card? So first we had a look at Little Ugly. Now let's have a look at Big Hideous. It's booting from the USB. That's annoying. It's not supposed to do that. Anyway, yeah, I'll have a look at that, and then we'll talk about this thing. This is an Optiplex GX280, which is the model up. I think it's a 280. Yeah, it's 280, which is the model up from the 270. So, if you have a look here, we can see it's got a full-size DVD-ROM drive and a full-size floppy drive. This opens up to reveal, once again, curiously, no microphone port, but headphone and 2 USB ports. These are the most fragile things on the planet. Just so that you know that beforehand. It's really dirty, and I just bumped it into the other one. That's real handy. But now you'll see why I switched the two machines around, so that it would be more convenient, or you will in a minute when I actually show it. But there's the power supply. Once again, non-standard form factor. 2 PCI slots in a riser card, which you can maybe just barely make out in there. Well, you could before the camera focused on the grill. It's in there. This is also a PCI Express slot. It does away with the AGP and places it in the PCI Express. Still only half height, though. We've got our audio here. Still have 6 USB ports. I think that one's gone bad. Ethernet, again, it should be gigabit. We've got our diagnostic LEDs, VGA, parallel, and serial. Notice something missing. Where are the PS2 ports? Yeah, this thing has got no PS2 ports. What a shame. Let's go ahead and pop the cover. Alright, so here's a look inside. You can see that little cage, which has got the 2 PCI slots in it. You can see one of them. There's another one above it. You can also see here's a CPU heatsink. This is definitely LGA 775. And I can see it's got a nice fan in it too. An NMB as opposed to JMC Daytech. I hate those fans. All the capacitors are good, which is amazing. Usually you find at least 2 bloated ones in one of these. They all seem to be okay. Uses DDR2 memory. How much RAM is installed in this anyway? I'm expecting to find maybe 2 gigs. Maybe not even that. Holy crap. Well, that's a 1 gigabyte memory module, and there's a match set in there. It looks like the other one, it's Nanda. I hate those. I can't tell what the size of the module is. 1 gigabyte. Huh. It's got 4 gigs of RAM installed in it. Well then. I think it's only got a 32-bit CPU though, so it'll only be able to use 3 of those. Have a look in the BIOS and see what it tells me. There's our Dell Business Audio speaker, serial ATA hard drive, and our other equipment. You'll notice a curious omission on this motherboard as compared to the 270. There's only 1 IDE channel, not 2. There's space for a second one right there, at least I presume so. I mean, you might be able to move that parallel ATA, that's a floppy drive channel. You might be able to move that over a little bit and put one in there, but no, there's only 1 parallel ATA channel, so you are limited to a serial ATA hard drive, and that's it. And if you want to install a serial ATA, could you even do that? Is there only 1 serial ATA port on here? I thought there were 2. But it looks like there's only 1 serial ATA port. That's kind of limiting, isn't it? I think actually this would support a PS2 add-in board. That's what that connector right there is for. So you could add a PS2 port at the back here. And maybe I'll even do that. If I find one on eBay for cheap enough, I'll put a pair of PS2 ports in this, because that'd be really nice. I like PS2 ports. But no, you are limited with that. Although if you want to install a serial ATA hard drive, I suppose that's what that connector's for. That's the 5-pin connector I was talking about. The camera's not focusing on it. But to that, you'd attach a pigtail that would allow you to use another serial ATA connection. Anyway, I don't think there's anything else I need to point out with this. So I'm going to go ahead and shut the case, cable it up, and power it up. Alright, we're a little close, but that's the best I can do. I'm going to go ahead and plug it in. I'd blow a fuse in the process. Does it come on? It did for a second. So we'll pick this up, put the keyboard down off of here. We'll fire it up. In the BIOS. GX280 A08. Pushing F2. There we go. Oh, the pictures. Oh, there we go. So you can get some information about it. 2.66. Oh, there's a 64-bit CPU. 533 front side bus. It's actually slower than the one that's in there, which is kind of funny. It still has 1 meg of cache. That memory module said 1 gigabyte on it. I guess it must have been a 1 gig kit, so it'd be 512 megs. Here's 2. Shut up. No one cares about you. Well, there we go. It is running a dual channel, so that's good. The date and time is definitely wrong, so I will have to fix that. It is September 24th, but it is 4:01 at this particular moment. There we go. That looks okay. Now I gotta configure all these drives. The diskette drive is fine. SATA 0 is fine. 200 gigabyte hard drive installed there. Serial ATA 2 is off. It does have 2 serial ATA channels, it looks like. That's fine. That's fine. Alright, native mode. Smart reporting is on. NIC is on. Audio is on. USB is on. PCI is on. It's supposed to be in ECP mode. Looks okay to me. I'll leave that alone. Serial port should be set to COM1. No, don't do that. Looks okay to me. Acoustic mode should be set to performance. Make sure that all those are blank. Execute disables on. I forgot to check that on this, but I think it was enabled. Power management. AC recovery should be set to the last known position. We'll leave that alone. Right, here we go. Here's the event log. Oops. Guess I gotta hit page down in order to do this. Yeah, there we go. So some memory size different errors, lots of keyboard errors on this one. Looks like the network interface card failed at some point. I wonder if the keyboard error had something to do with the P of this USB port on the back that was glued in. Anyway. Oh, that looks okay. Alright, so that looks fine. Nope, can't do that. I forgot about that. Not on this BIOS. I want to see if it's going to boot to what's on the hard drive. I really do. It might actually work. I think the chipset between the two machines was similar enough that it'll be fine. Wow. It is actually going to work. Now, what one did this come out of? Oh, this came out of the HP. Or I guess they're both HPs, aren't they? It came out of the Pavilion A1320N. So, oh no, it's not. That was the slideshow machine, and this. No, that's not working. I'm not keeping this Windows installed anyway, so let me shut this off if I can. I have no keyboard either. Hold on a minute. This is going to take some doing. Alright. I'll start installing Windows XP on this. Hopefully it'll work. Yeah, this is way off. Still a little off, but that's better. Hopefully this optical drive works. And we will be able to install Windows XP. I'm going to come back to that one after I'm done this, because this one is going to be going into the rack first. And and then that one will go on top of it. Makes my life easy to do it that way. Alright. So now we're to the graphical portion of setup. This particular piece of installation media has Service Pack 4, the unofficial service pack, slipstreamed into it. So with any luck, I shouldn't really have to do much work to bring this thing up to date. But I don't know. We'll have to find out. In roughly 37 minutes. Although more like 15 minutes. So it doesn't take that long. And I think at that point I'm going to put this into the... there isn't much I need to install on it. Most of my programs are just executables that run. The ones that I'd use on this anyway are just executables that run fine on their own. They're standalone executables. I think the only pieces of software I really need to install is Media Player Classic. And a couple of the usual things. Nice web browser, core temp, crystal disk info for the hard drive, a couple utilities. You know, the standard stuff. Okay, this machine, I think at this point, I'm not really going to do any more real discussion with it. Because all I'm going to be doing, I need .NET Framework 4.5, I think it was. XNA Framework, and the WeatherStar 4000 emulator, and then a VNC server, and the usual set of utilities, and updates. But you don't really need to see all that. It's straightforward stuff. Not really all that interesting. So what I am going to do is I'm going to run the Windows Experience Index rating system. And we'll see what the rating of the computer is. Alright, so there's our score. Look at that. That's actually not too bad for a system that's this old. And the Aeroglass even works, which is really nice. Alright, so that's going to conclude this. I'm done with this machine, so I can shut it down. I'll work on it again when it goes into the studio rack. Now I just got to work on this one. Get this one ready to go. I'm going to try and boot from the CD. Which I won't let it do, because I want to boot into Windows XP from the hard drive. Should be ready for configuration, final configuration, and then I'm going to conclude the video and put this thing in the studio rack. And put the finishing touches on it then. It's okay by me. And if the audio will actually work. Usually it doesn't. Every once in a while you get surprised. Not this time, though. It's supposed to be audio and it's not playing, so whatever, who cares? I'm not gonna bother with that, because it's just a mess. But it really doesn't matter for this one. I just don't want it rebooting in the middle of a freaking show, so... There we go. So, I think pretty much all the rest of the configuration for this is bog standard stuff that you really don't need to see. So, I guess that's pretty much it for the video. Thank you for watching. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them down below. And this is CP666 signing off. I hope to see you next time. Till then, I hate it when it has to do work with this.